All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is an interview that I've really been looking forward to doing. This is my son, Brayden. So, Brayden, how are you doing today?
Doing wonderful.
Doing wonderful. So the reason why I wanted to interview Brayden and really talk to him is because he has been around Convene and this application since the beginning. And he's now going into his senior year of college and has really helped with the evolution of the app. And it is so important for Convene that we get young people involved in the way that I see it being used may not be the same way as young people see it being used. So first off, Brayden, just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you go to school, what you do, and what your major is and all that.
Yep. As you said, I'm going into my senior year at Guilford College in Greensboro, North Carolina. I play on the soccer team there. I'm going to be a captain for the second year in a row. Very looking forward to that. It's also a little bit bittersweet. It's going to be my last year of competitive soccer, something that's been a part of my life for a really, really long time. But yeah, as you said, you and I have been working on Convene for, I guess, the better part of a decade now, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, off and on for a decade, back and forth, different iterations. And
been, a few different iterations. We've spent, countless hours in the car, in our basement, anywhere you name it, talking about it, kicking around ideas and whatnot. And it's really been quite a journey, how the application has evolved over time. And I think, right now it's better than ever. And it will continue to evolve and continue to develop. And I'm, really looking forward to seeing where this application goes in the future.
So tell me a little bit about, let's go back when you first got a cell phone and you first got on social media, just the evolution of social media in your lifetime.
So I think the first ever form of social media I got was Facebook when I was like maybe 13, I think. And I remember having to beg you guys to let me do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I started off on Facebook and then sort of maybe made, a Twitter and an Instagram a few years later after those came around. And really now, I guess the main three forms of social media that I use today really is Instagram, Snapchat, that came about, a few years ago. And Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter is really what I use. I use Facebook every now and again, but I sort of veered away from Facebook for a few years, and I have one now. I don't use it too much, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So the point that I'm making is there's been a pretty big extreme evolution over time. And, I like to think that we've been able to take a look at everything that's out there with Convene, and we've kind of tried to evolve it to meet everybody's needs, within Convene. Mm-hmm. So a couple years ago, you started helping me use it for the first time really hard. And talk about how we used it with my soccer team and how you think Convene would be a great application for, young individuals who play sports or, soccer.
Yeah. As I said before, soccer's been a huge part of my life for a really, really, really long time. And especially as I've gotten older, the use of like video, recordings of games and training and stuff like that, especially, in the college games, stuff like that. We do that all the time. We do it probably once or twice a week where we all meet in a room and watch clips of the last game or, whatever the case may have been. And we go over certain scenarios and, what we did well, what we didn't do well, what we need to improve on, how was our team shaped, things like that. And what we did with your, what was it, U12 girls, something like that?
U12 girls soccer team, yeah.
U12 girls soccer team, we took some video clips from their games and cut them up and sort of broke them down and put them into the Convene application and showed just how that could be used. You take just a 15-second little segment of play and you stop it at a certain point and you'll say, okay, well, what happened here? What decision did the person on the ball make? What other decisions could that person have made? And what kind of movements could have been different, what kind of movements were good, what kind of movements were bad. You can really do it any way you want when you incorporate real-time video and stuff like that. And so what we did, we cut up short segments and we asked the girls questions, and we, at the end, in the lessons learned section, we pulled it around and I made a little video where I said, okay, this is what happened, but this is what maybe could have happened. And, these are where these players could have been to maybe give us a better chance to create a scoring chance on goal, or maybe even score a goal, or, how we could have defended that certain play better, stuff like that. And It really didn't it?
Yeah, it really did. So you used the whiteboard feature that's in Zoom that we're on right now doing the interview, and you were able to actually draw it out. And what was wonderful about that is we were able to give the girls that experience, and they were able to go through it. And then we laid out a training plan for the following week. And then we were able to go into, that following week and execute that training plan in practice. And I will tell you, in 1 week, it was like night and day. Our spacing was really tight. We weren't spread out. But, you can tell the girls over and over, spread out, spread out. Well, until they see that they aren't spread out, I think that was a big part of it. And so, yeah, it made a whole big night and day difference in
exactly right. We, like I said before, we do that same thing in college, but, when we do it, we have maybe an hour window where everybody can meet in one room, and when their schedule allows. In college, everybody's got a lot of stuff going on with class and jobs, and when we're in season and everything, we only have X amount of time to meet and go over our video. Well, where Convene could come in is our coach could cut up that same kind of video and create an experience about it, and ask us questions where whatever he wants to ask, what happened here, what could we have done, that kind of thing. And we could all give our input maybe beforehand, before we meet, and then we can go into the meeting, and coach can pull the answers that he sees were the best ones, and we can talk about it. And it might help speed the process up, and we might be able to get a little bit more out of our video sessions if we were able to sort of combine Convene into that. So it's very applicable to the college game, the high school game, you name it. It's applicable to anything. Even 11, 12-year-old girls were able to use it. So
absolutely. So, that's just one example of how we're using Convene and hope to spread and use Convene. But let's talk about you just a little bit more. Let's talk about, life. So what happens to you next year, right? You're in a transition moment. What's your major in college?
I think I missed that question earlier. I'm an economics and business major at Guilford. It's been a real journey learning about all this stuff, with economics and business and stuff like that. I didn't really have any experience with economics prior to college, and I took some classes when I was a freshman and sophomore and really enjoyed them. And so I chose to stuck with that, and I got one more year to wrap all that up. But one of my professors at Guilford, his name's Robert Williams. He's an awesome guy. He's probably, my favorite professor that I've ever had, favorite teacher that I've ever had in my life. He's taught me so much about economics and, a young student and a young professional, how to do all kinds of things, anything from research to how to speak in front of people to all kinds of stuff. But he, and when he was younger, he worked in what he liked to call think tanks. And it's where, a group of people, in his case, it was, economic and business people, and they would gather around and they would analyze scenarios and give their inputs on them and sort of bounce ideas and bounce, different perspectives off of each other. And like I kind of said with soccer, it could be applicable to that as well.
Absolutely.
He could apply it to his lesson plans. And, what we do is we'll do our readings when we have, we read any kind, various kinds of economic journals and articles, all kinds of stuff. We do our readings. He applies it to a scenario, asks us questions about it. So we all have our answers in one place, and we can go over it. And then when we get into class, we can all sort of talk about it, having already, given our input. And that kind of thing. So it's applicable to the classroom as well, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it truly is. It's applicable to putting people in any type of experience or any type of scenario, whether it be in the classroom or outside of the classroom. And I think that's a great example, because it only helps you, even study groups or whatever it might be. It only helps you speed up the process and speed up the learning environment, really. I think, because you're seeing other people's answers, you're getting other people's thoughts, and it's helping you think through the process and helping, you learn. What about life, though? What about,
about to graduate college and go out into the real world, and going to have to get a job and sort of fend for my own out there. And so that's a little bit of a daunting transition. But there are many people who have done that before me, and Convene's another way. The Convene communities is another way where I can, go on there and, create an experience and ask other people's opinions about, how do I successfully prepare myself for a job interview? How do I brush up my resume? How do I search for jobs? Anything, where should I live, in the city or should I live in the suburbs? What kind of car should I have? Kinds of, possibilities for that are endless, because I have a lot of questions about, what's going to happen in the next year or two in my life. And I think Convene would really be helpful, in me navigating that transition. And it's the transitions in life where we have the most questions and we need the most help. Again, Convene could be a great tool for people to, use to learn from others and how they've navigated through those same transitions.
Well, absolutely. And I tell this story a little bit. I've told it to a couple of people, over the last year, as you're getting ready for this transition, you and I've had lots of, talks and lots of deep talks about, what's coming and the what ifs and just life in general. And I go back and I remember, it's one of the things that's been pretty ironic to me. I remember having those same exact talks with my father, but it's like I'm doing a rewind, of me asking him the same questions that you're now asking me. And so I do think that with life in general, we all go through these different experiences, these different situations, no matter what they are, and we can learn from each other. And that's really the whole point, of Convene. And I think it's a great thing.
Yeah. People have, if you're going through something or you've got a question about something, chances are somebody has had or has the same question as you. And chances are somebody has been through it, and somebody has, multiple people have advice to offer, for whatever the situation or whatever the scenario is, or whatever, whatever you need, there's somebody out there who's gone through it, and somebody who can help, give you advice and help you navigate through whatever it is you're getting through.
Well, absolutely. And I want to bring this up just real quick, but the anonymous piece of it, what's your thoughts on the anonymous piece of Convene compared to the other platforms of social media that you're on, when you talk about what you were just talking about? Maybe you're going through something that you really don't want to put your name out there.
Right. And a lot of us, go through times and certain times where, you don't really, maybe you feel like you can't be 100% open about it, or you don't want your name attached, or you don't want other people to know exactly who, what you're going through. And that's where the anonymous piece of Convene comes in. You can create a scenario completely anonymous, an experience completely anonymous, and get anonymous feedback. And that way people are being absolutely 100% honest about, what they're saying, without, worrying about what people are going to say about them. Oh, I didn't know so-and-so went through that. And, well, he handled it that way, but I would have handled it this way. It's all anonymous. So people can be 100% honest about, their advice and, their feedback, or what they're going through, or, what they need help with. And, I think that's a crucial part of Convene, that really sets it apart from other social media platforms. On other social media platforms, you have your name, attached to everything that you post. Whereas on Convene, you can go through it and be anonymous and get the help that you need, and, go about your business without, having to worry about what other people are going to say or think, or,
Yeah.
whatever.
So what do you think about, obviously there's some big social media platforms, and we are not even saying that we would take, the place of any other social media platform. We'll like to say that we're a platform that can allow you to augment and continue the conversation in Convene. So the other day we were on the young leaders of Convene meeting, and you talked about like YouTube and Convene, or different things and Convene. So tell me a little bit about your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, if we're talking about younger people and, people my age, college age, high school age, middle school age, young people, they can use Convene as well. And there's room for creativity with Convene. It doesn't always have to be about a major life lesson or a major life transition, or, you need some deep, heartfelt, thoughtful advice about something. There's room for creativity with Convene. It can be as simple as, so-and-so dropped an album, or, released an album this past week. You listen to it, you create an experience about it, and you ask other young people, what do you think about that? What do you think about that album? What do you think? What was your favorite track? Did you like this section of the album or that section of the album better? It's applicable to, and when I try to think about what young people can use Convene for, I think about what are people interacting with each other about on other social media platforms. Well, it's mostly about popular culture and whatever's happening on the day-to-day, with music, movies, shows, sports, politics, and, there's room, you can ask other people's opinions, and, you can get anonymous opinions, or, you can continue to the discussion in the discussion board and interact with others, and things like that. So really the point there is, there's room for creativity with Convene. There are no set stone rules that you have to use it this way. And that's what we really want. We want people to end up using it however they see fit to use it. It's a unique application.
Yeah. So I think, obviously I'm an old guy, right? So the way I see it being used, or the way it's been developed, I hope that young people will take it and take it in just completely different areas and completely different directions, and use Convene. It's an empty platform, right? It's an empty thing that they can be creative with it. So, as we get ready to close this out, talk about your group and how you want people to come in and interact with you, and how, you think you can take advantage of y'all growing together and really looking at how to use the application different.
Yeah. So if you are a young person watching this and you think that what we've got going here sounds like a really cool thing, we would love to have you jump on board. And if you are a young person like myself, I've created a group. It's called the Young Conveners Think Tank. And the goal there is we would like for all young people to come together and join that group if you want to become a part of Convene and part of our team. And so that we can really kick around ideas about how younger people, the younger generation, the millennials, if you will, how can we use Convene, and how can we encourage other young people to become involved in, what we've got going here? Because I haven't thought of all the ideas, and, Amanda, Ortega, whoever else is involved, Megan, we haven't thought of all the ideas, and we really want your input. So if you are interested, please join us and give us your thoughts on it, because we'd love to have you on board, and the more the merrier. That's the way that we're going to make this thing grow, and that, we're going to continue to reach out to other people and get them involved.
So one other thing is and I just want to hit on this, because y'all have grown up in a world where you want to be a YouTuber, people want to be YouTubers, they want to have following, and they want to make money, right? So how can Convene, just touch on that? I talk about continuing the conversation, but Convene can allow you to make money as well, and to not change anything you're doing, but to make money at the same time, doing it through Convene. So let the young people know that that's a possibility as well.
Right. Yeah. If you have content that, you want to promote to other people, Convene is a great platform to do that. All you do is you post your video on YouTube or wherever you're posting it, Twitter, Instagram, whatever the case may be. and you say, hey, let's continue the conversation on Convene. I've created a group where, I'm talking about what I want to talk about, and you put a link there and they'll go to the link, and then you can continue to talk about it. And you could even, with a private Premier membership, you can even sell your content. And it's just another way to get your stuff out there and for you to become successful.
Yep. All right. So look, Brayden, I appreciate it. And I appreciate everything you've done helping me make this app what it is today. And, as we continue to roll it out, you're obviously going to be a big part of it. Megan, your sister's a big part of it. And, really it's kind of it's a safe place for people to come in and share their information and their content.
Yeah, as I said before, it's been a journey thus far, and I can't wait to see where it goes. The sky's the limit with this application. We really got something special here, and we would love for anybody and everybody to get involved and help us promote it, help us get it out there to other people.
How much does it cost? The free part. The free part. Yeah. So it's zero. So it's a free
thing to get on there and check it out.
Yeah, just get on there and check it out. Again, we're growing. So where it is today, on July 10th, 2018, you might be watching this video, who knows, a year from now, and it could be completely different than it is now and hopefully growing. So yeah, just get on and check it out. It's a great thing. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah.